You guys ready to make Tanghulu? That's right, fruit in a crunchy candy shell, and it is so good.
Bigfoot cooking.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making, I'm probably gonna mess the name up, but it's Tanghulu, all right, or Tanghulu, or I don't know, Tanghulu, however you wish to pronounce that. Basically, we're gonna take fruit and we're gonna candy coat it. That's right. So if you've got something that's a little bit tart, like say, strawberries are great to do this with, because with the strawberries, there's a little bit of that tartness, but we're gonna, you dip it in powdered sugar. Well, we're gonna up the game on that. We're gonna dip it in liquid sugar. Oh yeah, this stuff is really good. It's actually kind of a Chinese treat, and it's been pretty popular here in America too. I mean, it's pretty daggum good. So let's get this started. This is really simple to make too. It's not complicated. It is hot. That's gonna be the biggest thing. So like if you want the youngers to do this, you really gotta watch them, because you can burn yourself real good. So for this, of course, we're gonna need our fire. I got 2 cups of sugar, a 1/4 cup of water, and a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. That's it as far as the candy making. You could add a little honey to this. You could add some food coloring if you wanted to make it have a little tint of something. But as far as the candy part of it, boom, simple. Now for the fruit, I've got a little mix of everything. I've got some watermelon tenderloin. You know what watermelon tenderloin is, right? That's the middle part of the watermelon where there's no real heavy seeds. Yeah, didn't know there was a tenderloin, did you? Got watermelon tenderloin. I got some honeydew. I mean, I just went through the store and went, hey, what's the fruits I want? Like I say, typically this is done with a strawberry, but we're gonna up the game and try a couple of different things. So, well, instead of talking about it, let's do it. Now, into our pot, I'm gonna dump basically my 2 cups of sugar. And I picked this pot because what you want is something that's a little bit smaller. Unless you're making this in a big batch, you want something smaller so that way when you make it, it sits higher in the pot. So I've got my 2 cups of sugar, my 1/4 cup of water, and my 1/4 cup of syrup. Now, this may take a while to get the whole thing out, but basically I'm gonna give it a second, and then we're just gonna do a quick stir and we're gonna light it up. The funny part about making this is that this is gonna be the only time that I stir this together. Well, I'll tell you what, if you wanted diabetes, this right here, this would give you the diabetes. Now, from this pot, like I say, we're not stirring this again. We're not touching it, all right? But we are gonna make it hot, so let's add some fire. Now, like I say, this is the part that's gonna take a little bit of time, because again, if you stir this when it's molten, what's gonna happen, it'll actually crystallize. So that's why, like I say, you stir it while everything's cold, just to kind of give everything a chance to meet each other on the front side, and leave it be. Let it set. Once this starts to come up to a boil, we're gonna then turn the heat down a little bit more. We wanna let this slowly come up to 300 degrees. Now, that's 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you're not in America across the pond, matter of fact, in every other place in the world but here, that comes out to exactly 148 degrees Celsius. Now, if you are like a super scientist and you have one of those magic things and you go with Kelvin, or Kevin, if you go with Kelvin, that's 422 degrees Kelvin. All that works out to be the same temperature. That's what we're going for here. So I'm gonna let this go. Once this becomes liquid, I'm gonna set my candy thermometer in there, and well, I'm gonna wait until things get hot. All right, now while this is working its way up, let's go ahead and start prepping our fruit. Now again, the bigger the container, the more you can put on a skewer. In this case, I'm gonna keep it to about 3 things. So that way when this gets hot, I can just kind of tilt it and put these in there. So let's start out with a strawberry. All right, we'll take our strawberry, set it on the end of this. And notice how it slides back and forth. The fresher the fruit, the firmer it is, the easier it is to work. That's why I've got other fruits to go with this. I've got my grape, which we're going to use it actually to hold it still. Because as you can see, it's a much better hold. From there, I'll put my strawberry, and then, well, I'll seal the deal this time with another grape. So that way everybody stays where we got them. There's one. Now, I'm just gonna mix and match and make a couple of these. So while that's going on, let me do this on the quick. All right, and there you go. There's all my dipping sticks. Just waiting on this to heat up. We are, where are we at? We're at 240. And like you can see, we are, well, let me hold this up for you. See, we got a bubbly, chewy mess right here. But we ain't done yet. Like I said, our goal is 300. That's where you get to the hard crack. That's gonna be the difference on what you coat this with being, like I say, the hard, crunchy shell that we're after, or whether it's gonna be like a taffy. And like I say, if you wanted a taffy, if you wanted something that just sticks to all your teeth, don't heat it up as high. But the real point of making Tanghulu is for that crunch, right? So a couple more minutes and we'll be at our 300. Just bear with me, this is taking time, you know. Matter of fact, while this is doing its thing, instead of just, well, watching nothing happen, let's check in with Benson. I hear he's got a story time for us.
You know, Tanghulu is an interesting food. I remember back during the Song Dynasty, way back in China, helping the doctors come up with this idea. I'm a pretty smart guy. See, the emperor's girlfriend, Wang Guifei, was not feeling well. And so we came up with the idea, hey, let's take hawthorn berries and we fried them in a little dark sugar. And we fed them to her for 2 weeks. She felt great after that. Now, by themselves, hawthorn berries are really sour. I mean, if you tried to eat one, oh, you'd never do it. But you fry them in a little sugar, oh, they are delicious. Now, you might be wondering where the name Tanghulu came from. It directly translates to sugar gourds. Because if you'll notice, when you fry them up and dip them, well, they look just like gourds. And in China, it's said that the gourds bring you good luck.
All right, we've hit our 300, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut everything off. That way we let this calm down a little bit. Ooh, that's hot, that's hot, hot. So I'm gonna let this sit here for just a minute, let some of the bubbles that are on top calm down. And then, well, we're gonna start dipping. All right, everything is warmed up. Now let's set this guy in here. And looky there, looky there. Now, I'm gonna take, and this is what all this is over here for. I'll set this here and let that drip, and well, it's time to do some dipping. All right, now that I've got everybody dipped, and yes, I had one of them that kind of escaped on me, I'm now gonna take the rest of what's in here and put it in a silicone mold, I'm gonna put it in a silicone mold, and this way, well, we're making candy. Now, obviously, we're gonna have a big old mess of candy here, and yep, it's gonna take a minute to clean it up. So while I'm trying to wash the sugar off of everything, we're gonna let this stuff cool off, and when we come back, oh, it's biting time. All right, and there we have it, Tanghulu. Not the prettiest thing I've ever made, I ain't gonna lie. And some of this was an experiment because I've never seen them make this using like watermelon or cantaloupe or honeydew or any of that. After doing that, I understand why. The sugar doesn't really stick well to like a wet fruit. And so that's where your watermelon and cantaloupe, it doesn't bind to it. But now the grapes, the raspberries, the strawberries, it held on to that like amazingly well. So I think we're good on that. And then the extra, as far as making up these candies, oh, let's see. We can pop us out one, and look, you got a little bite of sugar to chew on. So yep, you got homemade candies, you got candy coated. Yes, I think I'm Willy Wonka now. I have just candy coated stuff. But now we have the other question. How does it sound? Because it's supposed to have that crunchy shell on the outside, right? So let's see if the mic will pick this up. Mm-hmm. Not only has it got that crunchy shell, it's got that stick to your teeth candy feel going on. Pretty daggum good, I will admit. Now, like I say, the kicker to this, because you're dipping it in sugar, it gets hot. So your fruit somewhat cooks a little bit. So like I say, don't freak out if your fruit's a little more tender coming out than going in. But as for now, well, I got a piece of candy. I got some candy covered fruits. I'm gonna go enjoy myself. Y'all remember that Bigfoot is real, and y'all take care. I'll see you in a blooper reel. I think that comes out to, 148 if you're doing Celsius. All right, let's see how we look. I'm gonna take and dip this in here, give it a turn, and pull it out. And that looks horrible. You guys ever heard of Tanghulu? Oh, it's chocolate covered goodness and a crunchy shell. Let's go make some.
You said chocolate covered goodness.